Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? Hey, Shanghai Long. Lonigan, how are you? JB, Nate, Alexander, Joe, how you guys doing? Gang's all here. Bit of a slow morning, eh? Hey, Ian, how are you? Well, happy Friday. What's going on? What's up, Raj? How are you? Good, good, good. Okay, well, yesterday was a nice distribution. Prior we had a liquidation down, grabbed this inventory, sold it up here. Still doing the same today. Overnight inventory is long. It's about, what, 90% long. Most of the trading is above the previous day's close. We are inside yesterday's range and cost basis. Yeah, so not really much to do except, there's no big change. Had a little move here in J period, went up instead of down, which is always interesting. J period usually corrects inventory lower. It did not. So that tells us there is little bit of buying that made us take out the old overnight low. And we had single prints, but not anymore. So let's go take a look at the balance levels. VWAP's at 28. Inventory's underneath us. So we're in distribution. Right? And welcome anyone who's watching on YouTube. This is the tradingsyndicate.org, where we teach regular people how to make a living and earn money in this market with no BS and no gibberish. So small candles, slow business, right? We have small candles, which indicates that business is slow. Let's see if we can hold that 68.36 level while we retail this inventory out. Now, what's the inventory? It's the product underneath VWAP in this instance right here. And also our cost basis here. So we are selling here for profit. Yeah, I ran a volume profile and I saw the cost basis really didn't change. Yeah, I noticed that the YouTube chat is still working. I turned it off yesterday, but I guess it didn't stick. I'll do it for the next session. I'll try and figure out how to turn it off. It was getting pretty bad yesterday with the RTH session. We had a bunch of strange individuals. Oh man. So, what do we do now? Well, we have some coffee and we watch and see if London corrects inventory lower, and we try and basically we're waiting for a trade. It's you know, let's see. Seems like Globex is very slow and RTH is pretty quick, which is the way it should be. No margin issues today. I looked at my email. I didn't see any margin increases, so that's a good thing. Anybody been up late, trading late? Or are you guys all just, you're all cooked and ready for the holidays? Well, Badir, I spoke to you yesterday. Oh, you had a good day? Which is always nice. Nice work. Good, good, good. Yeah, waiting for the holidays. Yeah, it's going to be a quiet morning by the looks of it. It'll slowly drip down. There's 36 and a half. Yeah, it's been a challenging market to trade. It's been a tiring market to trade. uh, hey, Jerry, how are you? And there's almost no volume in the old contract, so that process is pretty much over. 4839, 4,839 contracts. So that one's done. I can say goodbye to the old Z contract. And yeah, pretty quiet. Pretty quiet, my friends. I'm good, brother. I'm good. Just chilling out. I'll be here during Christmas. Now, Christmas is what? Thursday. Wednesday is a half day. Um, I'll do sessions since I'm around. Do you guys want to do sessions? We'll see. Cool, cool. Okay, a few little bids here. If you're really, really bored and you're a person who likes to learn, This kind of thing is interesting. There you go. Okay, Jiraj. That's what you should be paying attention to. Hey, you're in Spain. Good for you, Lonigan. Whereabouts? Last year I was in Spain. Barcelona? Nice. Beautiful. So there's some bids underneath 36 and a half, 36 and a quarter. That's why they're stopping before they tag 36. This is very slow. Yeah, I turned on my computer like. There we go. Ran out of buyers. It's on sale now. Be looking for 35 was my next level lower. And how I'm calling out these levels is I'm looking, you see where the market took these highs in E, F, and G? Well, where they took on when markets are really slow, right? Where it took a high on the way up, they will be buying there, there, and there on the way down because there'll be short sellers who were using that as a stop, right? So there'll be some responsive buying right before these levels. It's kind of interesting to note. It's a lot of people miss this, well, because they don't understand what market structure is. So it's kind of hard to get things if you don't know what's going on. So if you were short, say you were short, what's the practical use of this information? Say you saw a seller at 38 and a half and you shorted it, right? You'd be putting some bids down here. See how it's kind of pausing, right? It's not just dropping right through. That's those bids. So if you were a size seller and you were short, say 37 with a 38 and a half short stop, you'd be putting your buy orders down here and you'd cover, say you're short 10, you cover 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. Now, if this bid here at 33 does not get filled or executed, then you can take the offer, right? See how it just came down to this area here and stopped, right? Hey, Daniel, how you doing? And that's why you have buying where you have buying, right? It's responsive buying from someone who's short. Now, in a fast market, those levels will probably just get knocked right through, right? But in a slow market, now you're not supposed to go long off of that level. If you were a short seller and say you were in a short for, you want to make 2, 3 points, you're short 37, you cover 35, 34, right? Now, if those 34s don't get hit, you might have to pay 34 and a half, 34 and 3/4. That's how you do business intelligently. Does that make sense? That's why people tell me, what do you do for targets? Well, you let the chart show you where the targets are, right? So if you're short and you know that there's going to be buying at 34, you might want to buy 34 and a quarter. You might want to front run that. You use your orders to let you know how well your trade's working. That way, you're not doing these lottery ticket trades, right? You're trading intelligently because you're letting the order flow. Because everyone's like, "Ooh, I'm an order flow trader." It's like, yeah, well, if you were an order flow trader, you would actually use your orders to give you feedback. You know what I mean? A real order flow trader uses their orders to tell them what business is, they're like little sensors, right? So if you have a buy order at 33 and it's not getting filled, or 33 and a half, then you move your buy order up, right? And when you get into a trade, you should always know where the out is, right? You should know if this doesn't get down here, then I'm out of that transaction, right? Jiraj, see? Now it's breaking 33 and a half. So if I was short 20 contracts, right, at 37, right, and I'd maybe covered half of them here, right, I'll be looking for this 68.31 area as my next area to buy. See right here? It's right here where they took that H high. Now, if I covered 10 and it does a look below and fail of 33 half, what does that tell you? It tells you we ran out of supply. Momentarily, we ran out of supply at that level. And if you're a look below and fail trader, you got to look below and fail now, right? We looked below 33 half. The sell orders shut off. They lifted the offer. Might be a little choppy here. So if you're going long here, you're going to put your stop at the bottom of that candle or the bottom of this candle. But you probably want to wait and let this area work itself out, right? The only reason that I'd be taking this trade right now, well, I'm early if I'm in the trade right now, right? I should let it come up at least over 34. Watch. See? See? See how that candle hit 34, 33 and a half? Boom. So I'm long 34 and a quarter. I've got a sell order out at 35 and a quarter, and they took it. I've got a 35 and a half order out. They're not taking it. So what do? Right? You know that there's a seller here. Right? You know there is a seller here. There they are, plain as day. It was funny. Some idiot yesterday on the YouTube was saying, "Oh, he just draws lines and sometimes they hit them." I was like, "Oh, good God, no wonder you're doomed to lose money, right? Can't even pay attention." They sold there before. They sold there before. They will sell there again, and they did. This is the simplest, most easy thing in the world. If you guys can grasp these concepts, you will turn around your trading because you will actually be using information that is practical instead of all this pie in the sky crap that people look at, right? So if you know that there's a seller at 35 and a half and you're long at 34, right? And you put a 35 and a quarter sell order out and it does not get executed, that means somebody is selling in front of you, which is called front running. Make sense? Now you have market intelligence as opposed to just being a sheep that's being led into a slaughterhouse. You guys get that? Right? You have to derive some sort of market intelligence when you're doing business. You can't hope and wish that a target will get taken, right? The chart will tell you where the sellers are. All you have to do is have the good common sense to pay attention, right? It's not that hard. but you have to pay attention, right? That's why I draw those lines. The lines are trying to help you guys. I know where the sellers are, right? But I'm drawing them. See, there. Did you see how the offer came up here and it just got slapped down? Did you just see that? Rewind this. It'll do you some good, right? When this red line got to that white line, it automatically got nailed down. Just watch. If you're not in a trade, I know that most people are trading all the time, right? So I sold another one at 35 and a quarter on that move up, and I've got one left, and I'm offered at 35 and a half. Now, if I get taken at 35 and a half, it tells me about the order flow. If I don't get taken at 35 and a half, I will scratch that last contract, right? See you, Tim. Have a good one. Have a great weekend. There you go. I'm out at 35 and a half. See? No drama. Why did I stay in that trade when it was choppy? Because I saw the bid move from there to there to there. The bid follows the offer. Right, Jiraj? Like, remember, Muhammad Ali, kill the body and the head will die. Right? The bid will follow the offer. Right? The buyers will follow the sellers. Right? Until they get scared and run away. And then the sellers will chase the buyers down and nail them. Perfect. Good. Now, that seller, now we have fresh information, right? There's a seller here. This is the best information you will get. You know why? It's better than a DOM because it's actual transacted volume. Do you guys know the difference between expressions of interest and transacted volume? When you put an order in the DOM, that is an unfilled order. So you guys know it as spoofing or smurfing or whatever the F you guys call it, right? You'll put in false orders to sucker you guys in who watch the DOM, who think you know what you're doing, right? But those orders don't actually transact. Transacted volume is actually when somebody pulls out their wallet and puts cash in your hand. Pulling, pushing. You know what I think of pulling and pushing, Alexander? I think of like, you know, in the old days, you know, there's somebody's pulling and pushing a cart with a horse on it. Right? It always makes me laugh, right? I don't know where guys get this stuff from, pulling and pushing. It's like, what are you doing? Trying to get a car out of the mud? No. Anyway. Oh, dear Lord. I need a holiday. Okay. 37 and 3/4. That's where the next sellers are. So we just work our way, and what we have to do is we have to clean up all of these people who are long here. Some of them will have puked out, but some will still be in there. So when we get up there, they're gonna hit us, right? Pulling offers, pushing bids. Oh, that's funny. So, yeah, transacted volume is what you want to look at because that's when actual business is taking place. Everything else is just smoke and mirrors. The best way to see transacted volume is the chart. But you're not looking for a technical indicator or a pattern. What you're looking for is the business. So you understand that we ran out of buyers here, put it on sale. When we got down here, we found, you know, this was like Black Friday. The buyers came in, so they raised price. Alrighty. And back down. See how we found that those sellers at 37 and 3/4? In a slow market, right? When you're trading Globex, do this because you'll find even in fast markets, because these markets are so they're they're all electronically traded and these algorithms are insanely accurate. It will stop right at 37 and 3/4, right? Because there'll be a little bit of size or there'll be multiple orders at that level, which cause the market to go from 37 and 3/4 all the way down to 33 half. And then once those orders are finished, the market pops back up, right? So there's sellers, seller, seller, big sell. That order is complete now. Market pops back up. That is the business reason behind the look below and fail. Okay? The sell orders that take us underneath 33 half are complete. The market moves higher looking for supply. We grab the supply and sell into this move. That's how you make money. That trade, if you learn this trade on a simple, dinky 1 minute chart, and you learn how to do it with the micro, and you can make, even if you make $20 a day, if you can make $20 a day and keep it, do you realize that you're further ahead than 99% of most retail traders? Because most retail traders can't make $20 a day and hang on to it. Tell a retail trader to make $20 to $50 a day for 6 months. They can't. They'll do it for a couple of days and they'll go, F this, I'm not making enough money. Then they'll go and make $300 and then they'll lose $1,000, right? And then they'll make $500 and they'll lose $2,000. Sound familiar? Right? Because they have no consistency. They have no consistency, they have no discipline, and they don't have a business plan, right? And they have zero knowledge of how things work. So how the hell are you expected to make money if you have none of the skills required to make money? That's why you come into our trading room. We'll teach you the skills in a practical way so you can actually bank some dough. See you, Jerry. Have a great Christmas. We'll see you after the holidays. Stay out of trouble. See, the offer is lifting now, right? We've cleaned up that 37 and 3/4. We've cleaned up the 38s, right? Some new suckers came into the market so we could raise price up to 39, right? Then we fill those sucker orders. Now we're backfill down to 37 because nobody wanted to buy it at 39 and a half, right? And when you talk yourself through the chart like this, most people think this is random. Do you honestly think that people are putting billions of dollars to work and just hoping that it works out? Right? Do you honestly think that this is random? How many billionaires do you know do things randomly? I know quite a few billionaires, and none of them do anything randomly. They are the most cold, calculated people I know. They always have an agenda, and that's why they're billionaires. All right, London's going to open here. How many people do we have trapped short? See if we could take out that old overnight high. London's opening. Now, London usually likes to get lower. When London opens, we usually find the bid. So let's see, where's the bid? Right, here we go. We're trying, right? See how London always likes to try and push a little lower to get some cheap paper. Watch. There we go. There we go. Let's find the bid. Where's the bid? 38? Let them find the bid. Yeah, billionaires are clinical, man. They're like serial killers. Everything is planned out. Okay? That was a bad reference. I'm probably going to get into trouble for it. Who cares? Uh, Look at the offer lift. I think we found the bid at 38, ladies and gentlemen. I think our bid's here, right at 38. Uh, I got a buddy of mine. He's a billionaire. Every time you ask him, "Hey, you got 20 bucks on you? You know, I got to pay for parking." Oh man, I don't carry any cash. Right? The guy's worth like $2 billion, right? And he doesn't even have 10 bucks in his pocket, right? I mean, hey, I want to buy a Coke, or I got to pay for parking, or whatever it is. Oh, I don't got any cash on me. No cash. All right, let's take out this overnight high, right? Target is 43 and a half. Let's see if we could tickle the 43s. Uh, Upper stops are that M high at 50. Oh, totally. AZS, what's happening, brother? Oh, let's see if that 43 and a half has any juice. Someone's short. Big green candles, right? Big green candles means, oh crap, I'm short at 38. I go to cover at 40. Oh, these bastards moved the offer up to 41. Go to cover at 41. Damn it, they moved it to 42. Go to cover at 42. Offer's now 44. Let's see, is this a look above and fail of 43 and a half? I'll wait for the next candle. Now, everybody asks me, do you wait for the next candle to close? I like to. In a perfect world, when I'm trading an area, I would really like for it to be slow enough for the candle to work itself out, and I either know this or look above and fail, which is back down, right? But when it's going back and forth, it kind of messes with your head, right? It messes with your head, so that's why I have the timer, because it says there's 24 seconds left in that candle. And that helps me kind of chill out, wait for the next candle. If I miss the trade, I miss the trade, right? You're going to miss lots of trades in your life. That's just the nature of trading. See? No short. In RTH, there's no time to wait. But Badir, as you saw yesterday, you're developing your skills now. Very soon, you will have that intuition of the order flow. Because that's what you're doing right now. It's like, okay, so Juraj, he teaches people how to fight, right? Like he has a boxing gym. So when you first step into the ring with him, right, the punches are going to come fast and furious, and you're going to get punched in the face a lot, and you're going to get really frustrated. And that's what trading is like, because you are going to get punched in the face a lot when you start, until you start picking it up, right? See, look, it came under 43, but I want the top of that candle to come underneath 43 to short it, right? See how it's just futzing around? Well, because this is at 2 times cost basis, right? This is the profit zone. And we're at the top of the profit zone. That's why it's stalling here, right? Because intelligent traders are, I don't want to buy it this high. I would have rather bought it here, right? And breakout traders, they'll fall for this. That's why, not sometimes, a lot of times, people fall for the false breakout. Aha, found the seller. Now I'm interested, right? Do I miss the trade? Do I get the trade? Let's see what happens, right? Give it some time. We got time. We got 20 seconds. When the next candle opens, if the top of the next candle can't get over 43.5, now I'm interested on a backfill short. But that backfill short is only probably going to work until maybe 41 or 40, right? And if I miss it, I miss it, right? Let's see if this candle can come up to 43. Watch, watch, watch. Here it comes. Watch the offer. There's 43.5. Now, can it take the top of that candle? Because you know there's a seller there. So if you're selling this area and you're shorting this area, your stop is 43.25. Right? So say you're short 42.75, right? Your stop is just there at 43.75. Put a lookout offer there. Put some bids down here at 41.5, 41.75, and see if you can get a fill. Right? You're scalping. Right? There's bids there. See, look, bottom of the candle, bottom of the candle. Right? You got a lookout offer at 43.75. If that gets taken, then you know that trade's not going to work. See? Look. And then you can scratch the trade before you lose all your money. Right? Scratch. Big deal, right? At least I'm not short 43 and then covering at 48. Right? Right? You admit you're wrong, take the hit. It might go back down. We might have been early. All sorts of things. But at least this way, yeah, it's a business expense. Hey, aloha, Cisco, what's up? But you got to remember, the inventory's underneath us. So the probability that it's going to go higher is better. All you need is some customers coming into the store. Pretty simple, right? This way, like I was short 43, I was out at 43.75. So I took 3 ticks loss. It's better than losing 3 points. And sometimes what I've noticed lately is it'll just chop around like an area like this. And you'll go long, you'll get stopped out. You'll go short, you get stopped out. And if you start seeing it going back and forth, just leave it alone. The problem with the next few weeks is that the order flow is going to be a little bit more unpredictable, right? So let's see if those bids are still there. So that seller should be down at 42.5. Yeah, if you see the offer lift 2 to 3 ticks very quickly, great observation. And the price holds, exactly, there you go. Now you're cooking with gas. There you go. Nice observation, sir. Beautiful. Yep. You can hit that short again, AZS, and 42.5. 42.5 is the danger zone, right? So if we offer over 42.5 now, you know you've got a seller at 42.5. As long as we stay under 42.5, you're okay if you're short. But if it rips 42.5 and tickles the 43s, right? See? And that's how you have some intelligence trading, right? You're going to get stopped out? Of course you're going to get stopped out. That's the business, right? That's just how the business works. All right? You get stopped out a few times, you're like, maybe I should just chill out, right? Now, for a look below and fail, of this level, you realize that the order flow here is going to be unpredictable to the upside. So if you are long, make sure that you put your sell orders out so the market takes you out as you go up. Because you know that there are sellers here. So make sure you take advantage, right? You should always have some sort of tactical, see how it's going around that now? I'm going to leave that alone, right? It is a mini distribution. Very good, VS. Nice work, right? It's a rotation, right? It's a distribution rotation, right? Sometimes they're very hard to trade until you figure it out. You're going to get stopped out until you see that rotation. Good stuff, guys. Oh, good stuff. Now, if we lift that offer over 45 and a half, look for a 46 print. But you can see that there's definitely a seller here. Right? There you go. Back down. Let's see if we find the bid here. So it's going to rotate between 41 and 3/4 and 45 and a half and a quarter while we distribute the inventory that we own under 38. Good stuff, AZS. Just rotation. It's not a bad rotation. It's tradable if you are quick enough, right? I took one short, got stopped out. Eh. There we go. Looking for 45 and a quarter now. It's just rotation, back and forth, right? Good, good, good. If we clear that, look for a print at 46. See if we can print the 46s. There's inventory here, right? We've had liquidation for a couple of days, so you're going to have some inventory that we're going to have to chew through and clean up. Let's see if we can print the 46s. It offered 46, but nobody grabbed that offer, right? 45 and 3/4 seller. You guys see that? You got to clean out the 45 and 3/4 offer before it can print 46. There you go. There's your 46 print. Right? They're selling up here, and you'd be a fool not to sell up here if you had position. Choppy, isn't it? Typical holiday trading. See if we can catch a bid here. If enough people are short here, if we've got enough people short under 45, we should be able to go up to this M high. That stop at 50. It's very choppy. So, folks, we will be back. And I might have the chat turned off in the RTH session. Globex seems to be okay. We got sort of decent people asking questions in Globex, but the RTH session is just too many clowns. If you're in an uptrend, that means that the offer is moving up. Yeah, I get distracted by all their like nonsensical BS. So the chat will be turned off in RTH. Right. And if they want to chat, they can join the room. Right. So far, Globex seems to be a little bit more, I don't know, intelligent. They're slowly creeping on the 48s. There's a seller there at 40. There's probably a standard deviation up there that they're selling in. Nice work, AZS. Well done. Way to make your money back. So yeah, when you have a trend up, the top of the candle is, so if you get a trend up, right, and you get candles going like this, right? You get a candle and then you get another candle and another candle. Sorry, they're not straight. The offer keeps moving higher because the sellers see buyers. That's why the top of the candles are moving higher. You don't want a short trend up, right? When the offer, the red line that you see a red and a green line moving together, right? The red line is the ask or the offer. If that is moving higher consistently, creating higher candle tops, that means that buyers are present and the sellers are raising price. It's just commerce. It's not rocket science. It's not cold fusion, right? So, you know, if the offer is moving lower, that means sellers are competing and lowering price, just like Best Buy will compete with Walmart, and Walmart will compete with, freaking whatever else chain store there is, right? So, yep, good, good, good. With so many wicks being on every different candle. Sorry, I don't understand your question, people. See, it's real simple. Check this out. Stay with me here. Watch. You see how these two candles had the same top? So the seller is initiating there. Then they move down to here. You see? So if you're shorting, say you're short 46, if we stayed offered under 47, that's like your warning level, and your out would be 48. Do you understand what I'm telling you? This is how you use the information, right? So when you see the sellers initiate and move the offer lower, see the top of the candles is going lower. Now when it gets to this line where the bids are before, watch the red line. Does it offer underneath and come and offer 45, or does it offer and pop back up? That's how you use the information. Now, for traditional candle folks, this is going to be difficult to understand because it's really simple, right? It's really simple, right? The thing is, you guys have never traded size and had to compete with other traders. So remember, if you were, you remember I said short 46, warning levels 47. So if you're short 46, see how the offer came down? Boom. Do you guys see that? I showed you how that short was setting up. Seller, seller. I said, look at that. So if you're okay if you're short 46 and your out's 47, you put your buy orders down here, right? 46 to 43 and a half. And if you had more size, you put your bids down here. The market will go hit you. You cover, no drama. Thank you very much. Right? If you don't understand what I'm saying, rewind the video and watch it over and over and over again. It'll start to make sense. And once it starts to make sense, your life will change. All you got to do, you're missing what I'm saying, my friend. You got a candle, right? You got a top of a candle, you got a bottom of a candle. Who cares if it's a wick or a twick or a buick? That's where the seller is, man. Just keep it simple, right? The top of the candle is where the sellers. Okay, let's see if I can visualize this, right? You and I are standing next to each other on a floor. I got 5,000 contracts for sale, you got 5,000 contracts for sale. I'm selling here. All of a sudden you lower your price and undercut me. You follow? You with me? Guys in the room too. This is right, Jiraj. So as soon as you lower price, I'm going to lower price. That's sellers competing. You don't care if it's a wick or whatever. It's the top of the candle, the bottom of the candle. The rest of it is meaningless. That's it. It's simple, right? You know where the sellers are. Now, if you were long at 42, you know that there's going to be a seller at the top of that candle. If that seller sees big buyers, they will move their price up. But more often than not, after a move down, there'll be some inventory there and you need to clean it out. It's real simple. That's all you got to do. The top of the candle is where the sellers are initiating and pushing price down. How do I know that? Because I was the top of the candle for 25 years. Right? I was always a seller. And when you are a seller, you understand how to recognize competition. Competition from people who have product pushes price lower. It's really simple. You don't have to worry about the candle type. All of that crap is meaningless. You're just using up mental energy that you could be using on execution. The offer was here, it moved down here, and it moved down here. And it dropped right back down to that mini distribution VS that you talked about half an hour. That's a waste of time. Footprint charts are a waste of time, in my opinion. They're pretty, right? They're pretty. And they give people a false sense of hope. You know, they think they're seeing something that nobody else sees. But listen, if I gave you just this, and I told you you got to trade, this is all you get. Would you be able to trade off of that? Probably not. I know probably 100% of the people on this call wouldn't be able to trade off of that. But that's how we traded for years and years and years, decades. Right? You got all this crap. You got to figure out what is important and what is not. Don't waste your time on what's not important. And that's it. Thanks, everyone. Have a great morning. Come visit us at thetradingsyndicate.org. For those of you I will not see in RTH, have a wonderful weekend. The rest of you will see you at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.